I don't think there's any dispute about this window. It's a zero because we ain't even bought anybody. It's a zero window, and I just cannot believe. I mean, I just saw a minute ago that Marcus Asensio now has gone to Villa, and I'm not saying that's an ideal signing for Arsenal, but how are we expected to challenge Liverpool with the forward line that we've got? It's not enough.
Is there really no one you could have brought forward? Is there really no £40 million player out there that could have done something? I don't know what the scouts did. Look, I'm pissed off. I'm not going to pretend I'm not Turkish. Come in before I keep waffling on.
What's the question?
I don't know. So say something. Say. Am I wrong? I don't know.
No. This is what it is with these owners. You know, I know you said Jason Ato's name. I don't want to hear about no Jason Ato. I know it's doing the rounds on Twitter right now, but
whoever, all of them.
It's Arteta and Kroenke and Arteta, right? The percentage is wherever they lie. That's the two biggest influences at Arsenal Football Club right now, right? And the first 2 weeks of the window was very much internal solutions, and I flipped after United because, come on, like that's how many slaps in the face do we need before you? And then after United, Arteta changed his tone and started saying we need a forward. But then that tone somewhat dwindled a bit in terms of I trust the people that are doing the jobs around me, etc., etc., etc. But at the end of the day, look what it's accumulated to. Those words, how can it lead to nothing? Those words surely had to have led to something. Whether that was even at Essential on the last day, which I would have probably been here and been like, you know what, look what we've done again, improves our attack, but at the end of the day, it's still, bargain hunting once again. But it would have been something. And Arteta said he needs something. He said we were light on December the 30th or something. He said we were light. He said everyone knew we was light. That's what he said. So how could we have been light in the 5th year of this thing, or 7 years since Be Excited, whatever benchmark you want to use? How can we be light? And on top of that, how can we openly admit we was light, everyone knew that, and then go through not just 31 days, 34 days. They've given us 3 extra days to do something, and we've done nothing. Like, the proof's in the pudding here. And like I said, I like Arteta. I think he's a very good coach, and I think he's going to win things, whether that's here or somewhere else. And the reason I say whether that's here or somewhere else is because the way our club is run, it never wants to take that next step to do what a great club should be doing, and that's winning stuff. And then you have many people making arguments for them about profits and PSR and all that. We, as much as people say to me, we are fans that just support and do that. I get that, but we are fans then. Don't give excuses about PSR and the financials and all that when the light was very firmly on this transfer window. The news came out leading into it, we were light, and everyone knew that from Mikel. The news came out that PSR were comfy right now, financially, right? That news all came out before the window opened. We knew there's a release clause in Lookman, there's a release clause in Gyökeres, there's a release clause in Osimhen. Kvaratskhelia became available about a week in. Since then, couple loans here. Marlon's gone Villa, a couple more additions at Villa. Tells another one loan. Then we hear Ornstein come out and say Arteta doesn't just want anybody. What are you talking about? You said we were light, and I'm not even saying Ornstein's words are gospel. None of these men know anything. Ornstein, Romano, they're all pawns in this game. So I don't believe that Arteta said that, because how can I believe he said that when we went into the season 22 man instead of 25, which is the limit, right? So we knew we was light. So it's not look, Sterling was a body. So how can we hear January the 31st or February the 3rd that we didn't just want anybody, but the last day of the last window, we literally bought in anybody. Literally bought in anybody, and that was Raheem Sterling. So how do you go from one mentality there on the last day of the summer window to the next mentality there the last day of the January window when we're actually potentially in for something? The Premier League, look, we just beat City 5-1. You sign a quality attacker and, fingers crossed we can turn it around, Carabao Cup. Do you know how good you feel going into Dubai all of a sudden? Yeah. It looks very different. But now that 5-1, I was gassed. But it's kind of like this, the transfer window just taking the life out of it again, because we pretty much know this squad ain't going to lead to the Premier League title the way it is. We can hope and pray for it, and maybe, just maybe, miracles do happen. I've seen us come back 13 points behind United in 98. I've seen City come back 8 points behind United with 6 games to go. I've seen us lead it for 200 days and not win it.
Yeah.
So we've seen various different methods of a miracle happening or some bullshit happening, right? So that it might happen. But the reality is we haven't put ourselves in the best of position. We shouldn't be 5 years in or 7 years in to be excited and saying hope, pray, and let's see. We should be confident. We should be, come on. Do you get what I'm saying? But we're not. And if you do put on that act, because it would be an act at this point in time, you know, I wish I could do that. Long gone. When Van P went to United, that changed me as a and not in a good way, because I should, you know, when I get onto man for singing about certain players, or that's a football fan. I get that. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. But understand, a moment in my life came where I thought, or I realized this is a company to these men, and it's not this ain't a genius speaking here. Far from it, but it's a company to these men.
Yeah, some players have that mindset.
And Fabregas's quotes are coming out again. On Twitter, it done the rounds. When I was young, they put a lot of pressure on me. I was playing 60 games a season. I wasn't getting rest. I was playing injured, and I looked around. Other people are winning. He also had quotes before talking about winners on the bus after a certain loss. Do you think Saliba could not come out and say that in a year and a half or a year? Do you think Sakura or Gabriel or one of these men that have helped turn us round can't say the same things Fabregas said 15, 16, 17, whenever it was, years ago? And that is the shame of it all, because we are close and Arteta's been key to all that. But he will be the fall guy because the attention's always on the manager. But when will it turn? Because Wenger was a great shield for them. He had credit in the bank. Emery came in and out, good manager, didn't fit well. Arteta's helped turn it around to a point of expectation. Now we expect to win a major trophy. It's a very different time. I'm not as, this anger is coming from a very different place to what it was 5 years ago. We were shit 5 years ago. I'm not saying we're shit. We're far from it. We're a very, very good side. But in the Emirates era, I've seen 3 very, very good sides. 3. And all of them ended the same way. Without a Premier League title, not a chance in Europe, and the key players leaving to seek big silverware elsewhere. That's what I've gone through. So I get the young fans and the spirit and all of that, but in points like this, understand there is a difference. Of course you support the club, but there's a fine line with supporting the company as well. And as fans, sometimes we make too many excuses for the ownership or the management, or, but this is a $1 billion company. This is a great football club with heritage, not European, but heritage domestically. 3rd most successful club on this land. Do we move like that?
No.
Have we ever moved like that? And that's that. All of our big signings, even Sanchez came in because of it fell in place. Ozil came in because it fell in place. Oba came in because it fell in place. All of our big signings in the Emirates era came in because it fell in place. Don't tell man be excited and not change that around. Go take the man now. We got the money for it. We're paying. Go take the man. But we don't do it.